Hello, everybody. My name is Danielle Angelari. I am the Executive Director of NAMI Northern Illinois. I just want to thank you all for joining us today. For many individuals living with disabilities and their families, planning for the future comes with a lot of hurdles. Figuring out how to save money without jeopardizing eligibility for crucial benefits is one of those things. Fortunately, we have a very specialized tool designed to solve exactly that problem. So today we're going to dive into everything you need to know about ABLE accounts. But before we jump into that presentation, I do want to note that we are recording, as well as if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A anytime throughout the presentation, and we can kind of, Rosemary is going to pause a few times and we'll get those answered for you, and I'll help moderate those. And then one more quick thing I want to mention, you probably heard me talking about it a little bit earlier, is the Building Bridges to Understanding event that we are hosting here in the Rockford, Illinois area. We always do a large free community education event during Mental Health Month. It will be May 14th at the Embassy Suites in Rockford, and we're going to be hosting our keynote speaker, Nora McKierney. She speaks a lot about grief, loss, trauma, mental health, and she really brings a very human and a little bit of humor to those topics, and I think that we all can walk out a little bit lighter together. So you're all invited to that. But now I'm thrilled to introduce our speaker tonight, Rosemary Laudani, and I will let you have the floor. Thank you, Rosemary.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. There we go. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Just to let you know, I will be stopping to take questions, as Danielle said. There's also an email address that we will share towards the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions that you think of after tonight's presentation or down the road, or you need some help, please email us. I always get back to folks within 24 to 48 hours. I know how it is to go to an agency and request help and then no one ever get back to you. I make a solemn promise that we are not the same and I will get back to you unless I'm out sick or out of the office, but 24 to 48 hours. I have a disclaimer. The Illinois ABLE Plan Disclosure Booklet contains more information about the plan, including investment objectives, risks, fees, and expenses. You should read it carefully before opening an account. You can read the full disclosure and obtain the plan disclosure booklet at the illinoisable.com website or by calling customer service. The information provided in this webinar is not intended to provide legal, tax, benefits, or investment advice. You should consult your own financial, tax, legal, or benefits advisor about your specific circumstances. And the information in this presentation is subject to change. So what we're going to go through tonight is Illinois account basics, which is kind of the nuts and bolts. We'll go through account benefits and essentials, and then we'll talk about who's eligible. And if we find out who is eligible, who can help them manage their accounts, who can open the accounts, and how you open accounts. And of course, I will take questions throughout the presentation. So what is an ABLE account? Well, ABLE is an acronym that stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. This was passed by the federal government in 2014, and the state of Illinois passed our legislation in 2017 that allowed the Office of Illinois State Treasurer Michael Frericks to be the home of ILL-ABLE, and I work for the Treasurer's Office as the program manager for ILL-ABLE. And ABLE accounts are private, self-directed savings and investment accounts that allow eligible people with disabilities to save and invest money without affecting their benefits. An ABLE account will protect your SSI and Medicaid. And you don't have to be receiving those things to have an ABLE account. Again, we'll go through the eligibility in a few minutes. An ABLE account, it can be a standalone tool for a financial future, and it also is a complement to other savings and investment tools like special needs trust. I always say special needs trust and ABLE accounts go together kind of like peanut butter and jelly. They work well together. And an ABLE account allows individuals with disabilities tax advantages, as well as people who give them funds to put into their ABLE account can also reap some tax advantages. And I'll explain that in a few minutes. So why open an ABLE account? Well, if someone is receiving SSI payments, which is Social Security supplemental income, you know at the end of the month you can only keep $2,000 in a traditional checking account. But with an ABLE account, you don't have to worry about that spend down. So if you have an SSI checking account and your balance is $2,005, instead of running out to the store to spend that $5 on something so that you don't lose some of your benefits, you can move that $5 or whatever denomination it is to an ABLE account so you can save it and then preserve it to use it for something that you really need down the road. An ABLE account also allows an individual with disability who's earning money to save it in the account. And the account owner can plan for what they want to purchase, whether it's something they need today, tomorrow, a few weeks, a few months, or a year down the line. This also is a way for someone to plan for their future, build a little retirement nest egg, or plan for that rainy day when something you really need comes along. It also helps protect individuals from financial insecurity in adult life. So the advantages of an ABLE account. So through all methods of contribution, this year in 2026, you can contribute up to $20,000, and that's from all ways to deposit. If you work, you can probably put a little bit more in the account, and I'll discuss that in a few moments. But this year, $20,000. And then another great thing about an ABLE account is anyone can contribute. Friends, families, neighbors, and if they are Illinois state taxpayers, they get an Illinois state tax deduction. If they file single, it's $10,000. If they file jointly, it's $20,000. It's so popular that tax preparation software like H&R Block and TurboTax have a whole section where you can take your state tax deduction and it will walk you through it. And again, an ABLE account is an alternative to or an add-on to a special needs trust. An ABLE account, just like special needs trust, can be used to pay for housing and utilities. And again, it complements other types of saving vehicles. So everyone wants to know how an ABLE account will affect your federal benefits. Well, you can have an ABLE account and still receive your SSI benefits. And because an ABLE account does not work the same way as a traditional bank account, where you can only keep $2,000 in it while receiving SSI, an ABLE account will allow you to keep $100,000 in the account and still receive your SSI. Now, you can only deposit $20,000 in it a year, so it may take you a while to get to $100,000, but again, you can keep $100,000 in there. If you go over the $100,000, your SSI benefits are not terminated or stopped. They're just placed on hold until you reduce the balance to $100,000 or less. And then if you're someone that is not receiving SSI benefits, you can keep up to $500,000 in your account. So $100,000 with SSI, $500,000 if you're not receiving SSI. And the funds in an ABLE account are not considered resources or assets when benefits programs decide whether or not you are eligible for them. So if we've got a minor child or you need to re-up your Social Security Administration supplemental insurance, they are not going to look at the assets in the ABLE account to figure out how much money you have or if you can or cannot have these benefits: SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, HUD, SNAP, FAFSA. Again, the funds in the account are not used for lookbacks or asset considerations. And then if you have someone that's an SSA rep payee, they can open and manage an account in certain circumstances, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a few minutes. And then assets are not counted in lookbacks either. And another great advantage of an ill-able account is whatever's left in your SSI or SSDI regular checking account can be moved into an able account, or you can do direct deposits of your SSI and SSDI directly into your able account. So if we have someone who's disabled and they work, they can contribute more than the regular $20,000. And this year it's up to the poverty level for the state of Illinois, which is an additional $15,650 for the year 2026. So how this works is if the individual works, they get a paycheck and they do not participate in their employer's retirement plan or pension plan, they can contribute their gross pay up to an additional $15,650. So an example is if we have someone that's a greeter at Walmart and they make $10,000 at greeting at Walmart, they can put the original $20,000 plus another $10,000 because they work into an ABLE account, which means for 2026, they can deposit a total of $35,650. Now, you'll go to our website, there's a form to fill out. You'll read through the whole section on this area. You can read our plan disclosure booklet, which explains directly how to do this and far more that I can ever explain to you this evening. But this is just something to think about. You can also, again, do payroll direct deposit. So if someone is working, they can put a part of their paycheck directly into their ill-able account. So ill-able account essentials. So one thing that you have to remember, the person with the disability is the owner and sole beneficiary of an ABLE account. It's not mom, dad, a guardian, a grandmother, a grandfather. The account is in the name of and beneficiary of and under the Social Security number of the person with the disability. And there's only one ABLE account allowed for a disabled individual. So if you have an account in another state, you can't open up a second account in Illinois. So it's one account per person under their Social Security number. Now, if you decide to move to another state, so let's say I get tired of Illinois' winters and I decided to move someplace warm to retire, I can roll my ill-able account over to my new home state's plan. So you can roll over your ill-able account if you move to a new state. And then ABLE accounts are available nationally. You must be a US citizen or a resident with a Social Security number or taxpayer ID living in a state, territory, or US military. And then these accounts are self-directed. So no one tells you how to invest. No one tells you how to set the account up. You make the decisions for yourself and your loved one if you are a guardian. You don't go to a bank to do this. There's no financial advisor involved. You don't pay an attorney. This is all done by yourself. So once you open your ill-able account, everyone wants to know how you spend the money and what you spend the money on. When the law was written in 2014 by the federal government, it was written very, very broadly to cover as many things as humanly possible. And the thing to remember is that the expenditures from an ABLE account are there to maintain and improve the health, quality of life, and independence of the account owner. That's the overarching premise of having an ill-able account, covering basic living expenses, rents, utilities, groceries, plus many more things. And the expenses coming out of an ABLE account are not just for medically necessary items. You don't need a prescription to spend the money. And the spending of the funds in an ABLE account can give benefit to an additional person or people, depending on the situation. And I'll give you some examples in a moment. So once you open your account, you can, and you fund the account, you can make as many withdrawals as you want, and you can make it for as high a dollar amount as you want, as long as there's funds in the account to cover. So again, as long as you use the money for a qualified disability expense, everything is, the earnings and the withdrawals are totally tax-free, and you can go on your merry way. So some examples of how to spend the money in an able account. So education, this could be a 2-year college, a 4-year college. This could be for extra tutoring, supplies for a classroom. This could be park district classes, art classes, cosmetology school, trade schools. You can use it for all educational resources if you need specialized software or specialized tool for your classes. You can use your able money for that. Housing, rent, mortgage, utilities, uh, garbage pickup, insurance for the house, cleaning of the house. You can use your able money for that. And then transportation. I call this trains, planes, and automobiles. So Uber, taxi cabs, buses, trains, purchasing a disability vehicle like Alex in the picture. Alex is in college. They used his able money to purchase the van that you see him entering into, as well as renting disability vehicles. We have a lot of folks that enjoy Special Olympics, and a lot of the teams get together and pool their able money to rent the disabled vehicles to go from Chicago and other parts of the state to Bloomington Normal for the Special Olympics. And then employment training and job coaching. So if you need to take extra classes, or you need someone to print resumes, or you need someone to help you write a resume, and there are fees attached to that, you can use your able money. And then assistive technology. This is probably our largest area. A disability wheelchair, a scooter, software like JAWS technology for the visually impaired, large screen TVs for those that need it, whatever technology that you need, grab bars, wet rooms, ramps on houses, you can do that. We had one young lady that got an apartment in Chicago, and she is totally hearing impaired. So a doorbell doesn't work for her. They retrofitted the doorbell and the carbon monoxide detectors and the smoke alarms so that instead of having a sound go off, they now flash lights at different speeds to tell her what's going on. And they jiggle her bed at night a different way so she knows if it's the doorbell or the carbon monoxide detector or the smoke alarm. And she split the cost with the building using her able money. And then personal support service. If you need someone to clean a house, drive you to a doctor's appointment, go grocery shopping for you, whatever you happen to need, you can use your able money for that. Also, respite care. If a caretaker needs to take respite care and you have to pay for it, you can use your able money for that. Healthcare prevention and wellness, over-the-counter medications, equipment that you may need, maybe a health club membership, maybe a diet or prevention, wellness prevention program. So again, you can use your able money for that. Treatments and therapies that are not covered by medical insurance, financial management and administrative services. So if you need a tax professional or you need a benefits specialist and you have to pay the funds for that, you can use your able money for this. And then, as I said before, able and special needs trust go together. If we have someone that needs to get guardianship on their loved one when they turn 18, you can use the funds in an able account to pay the attorney's fees to create the guardianship papers. Also, if you know you're going to need a special needs trust, you can use the funds in an able account to create the special needs trust for the individual with the disability. And then funeral and burial expenses. And then another example that I have is where someone else got to benefit from the expenditure of money from the able account. We had a young lady who's totally visually impaired. She wanted to sing iDog. So she found a Seeing Eye Dog with Seeing Eye Dogs of America, but she had to travel to California to train for 30 days with the dog before they allowed her to bring the dog back to Chicago. So her mom, as her support person, went with her to stay with her in California. And they used the able money to pay for their airfare, their rental car, their hotel, their meals, any other things that they did while they were in California on the off time for training. She came back here to Illinois, and they're using the funds now in her able account to pay for extra harnesses, vet bills, dog food, extra training. So her mom, who's her support person, who is not disabled, got to experience the trip with her. The one thing that you should know is anytime you spend money out of your able account, you must keep the receipts for your records. The only governmental agency that can ever question you about your expenditures or your ABLE account, period, is the IRS. Now, since 2014, when ABLE came into being in the United States, no ABLE account has been audited up to the present time. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but as of right now, no account has been audited. But you must keep the qualified disability receipts so that if you are audited, you can explain to them what you spent the money on and why it's qualified as a disability expense. So contributions can come from virtually any source. Money gifts from friends and family and neighbors. So I have a girlfriend whose son is profoundly autistic, and she always tells people, if you're going to spend, $50 for his birthday, don't buy him something for 25, give me 25 to put in his ABLE account. And that way, if you're an Illinois taxpayer, you get an Illinois state tax deduction for the money you give to my son. Illinois state small inheritances, insurance settlements, and tax refunds. Again, you can do a direct deposit from a person's paycheck, whether it's an authorized individual, the person with the disability, or other family and friends can do that. And distribution from a special needs trust can be put into an ABLE account, depending on what type of trust you have. Check with your attorney about what type of trust you have. And if there's a 529 college savings plan, you can roll that over to an ABLE account. And if you have an ABLE account in another state, you can roll that into an ABLE account. And again, Social Security benefits can be placed into an ABLE account. The thing to remember is that Social Security benefits can only be contributed if the person or entity who's the fiduciary of those benefits is a manager on the account. And I'll explain more about that in a moment. And we're just going to go through this section and then I'll take questions. So making contributions. How can you make contributions? Well, when you open the account online, if you choose the checking account options, it's going to give you the option to automatically print off check deposit slips, and you can mail checks into us using the deposit slip, which will have the name of the individual with the disability and their account number on it. You can make electronic account contributions to the account. You can do payroll direct deposits. Again, you can roll over from a 529 college savings plan or another ABLE plan. You can set up reoccurring contributions. We also have something called UGift. It's like our version of Zelle or Venmo, where the person with a disability or their authorized individual gets a code, and then friends and family can automatically make an electronic transfer, just like Zelle or Venmo, using that code through our UGift system. And how do you make a withdrawal? Well, if you have the checking account option, you can use the ATM rather, the debit card, or you can write a check. If you have the investment options, you can go onto the online system and request a withdrawal from that. You can call into our customer service department to request a withdrawal, and you can fill out a form. You can also set up reoccurring withdrawals. So if you know every month you have to pay the bill for your rent for your apartment, you can set that up this way. You can also electronically connect your personal savings or checking account to the withdrawals that are made from an ABLE account. So it goes directly from ABLE into your personal savings or checking account. Okay, we're going to stop here. Are there any questions so far?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me? Um,
Yes.
it says I'm disabled, live alone, and don't work. I got injured at a job July of 2024. I'm going to get money from workman's comp. How do I get started? I'm really confused about this, and I have no family out here to understand better.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to the eligibility in a few minutes.
Okay.
So hold on to that question,
Okay.
and we can walk through how you qualify for the account.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
okay.
That was the only
Any
one.
other questions? Okay. All right. So when you go online to enroll, you can enroll online or you can enroll with a paper form. We highly recommend enrolling online. You are going to choose where you're going to put your money to invest. Now, there are 7 asset allocation investment options. They're on the left, and there's a checking account option on the right. You can choose all of these, one of these, 2 of these. So you can have the checking account and you could have the money market and the aggressive option. or you could have the moderately conservative option and the checking account. You may choose to just have the checking account option. It's totally up to you. Now, on the 7 asset allocation investment options, the first 6 of them, the aggressive through the conservative, all have a stock market component. And the stock market component obviously takes risk. So the conservative option has the least amount of the stock market component. The most secure investment option is the money market that has no bonds and no stock market option. The checking account is FDIC insured. You're going to get a real-time debit card. You'll have free check. You'll have access to 40,000 free ATMs, unlimited check writing, and no overdraft. You cannot open this account by going to Fifth Third Bank. You can only open and contribute through Able. They are just our partner that does the investment. So again, you would choose this when you invest. So fees, the only fees that you are ever going to pay on an Able account are these. Everyone, no matter what investment options they choose, are going to get charged an annual fee. We highly recommend that everyone takes the e-delivery of this quarterly and statements and their confirmations, because it's only $31 a year, which means it's $7.75 a quarter. If you take paper delivery of the account, it's $56 a year or $14 a quarter. And then if you invest in the 7 asset allocation investment options, it depends on what funds you place it in. So if you put money in the aggressive account and you put $1,000 in the aggressive account, the fee is 0.28%. So $1,000 in there at 0.28%, it's $2.80. If you put $1,000 in the money market fund, it's 0.34%, which means on $1,000 you pay $3.40. If you take the checking account option, you're going to get a monthly checking account statement plus your quarterly information from us. And with the checking account statement, there's a $2 monthly checking account fee, but that is waived if you take e-delivery of the checking account statements, or you have an average monthly balance of $250 or more. There are no brokerage fees. There are no other fees. There are no transfer fees. These are the only fees that you have on the account. So eligibility. So everybody wants to know, do I qualify? So I'm going to explain this now. So an individual will qualify if their disability started before their 46th birthday. Now this just changed. It used to be the age of 26. On January 1st, the age was lifted to the age of 46. So if your disability started before the age of 46, and then one of the next 3 things is true. So your disability started before the age of 46, and you are receiving or you can receive SSI or SSDI based on your disability. Or your disability started before the age of 46, and you have a doctor's diagnosis that the individual with a physical or mental disability that causes marked or severe functional limitations is expected to last for more than 12 months or is terminal. Or your disability started by 46 and you have a disability that is identified on the Social Security Administration's list of compassionate allowance conditions. And you can find that on their website. So if age of 46 and then one of those 3 things is true, the person with the disability qualifies for an ABLE account. So the next question is, who can open an ABLE account? So we're going to talk about adults 18 years or older. So if we have an individual who is 18 years or older, they're considered an adult in the state of Illinois. And they have legal capacity, which means they are not under guardianship. They make all of their own legal and financial decisions. They can open and manage an account on their own behalf. If they think they are going to need help or do need help, they can give a power of attorney to a trusted person or an organization or an individual who will be on the account with them under the power of attorney is something called an authorized individual. Now, both the person with the disability and the person with the power of attorney, who is the authorized individual, can both transact on the ABLE account. And the person with the disability can take the person with the power of attorney off of the account at any time if they choose. The next category is for a minor, which is on the right side. So if we have someone that is younger than 18, then a legal guardian or a parent, an adult sibling, or a grandparent can open an account on behalf of that minor child. If we have a adult that's 18 or older that does not have legal capacity, which means they are under guardianship, then the guardian can open the account on their behalf. So again, if they are 18 or older and they are under guardianship, which means without legal capacity, the guardian can open an account on their behalf. So on November 20th of 2022, the IRS finalized the ABLE regulations and put in place what's called the order of priority. And on the left-hand side of the screen in the blue area, it goes from highest to lowest. So if you have an individual who's been given power of attorney, excuse me, by an adult with legal capacity, they are the highest that can open an account for someone. A legal guardian is next, a spouse, parent, sibling, grandparent, and SSA rep payee. Now, some of these things may overlap. You may have a legal guardian that's a spouse, parent, sibling, grandparent, and an SSA rep payee. Or you could have a parent that's an SSA rep payee. So some of these overlap. If we have someone that is only a Social Security Administration representative payee, they have to make sure there's no one above them that wants the account, that's willing and able to take over the account and open the account. So an SSA rep payee should always check with those that are higher than them on the order of priority before opening an ABLE account. So when you enroll online or you fill out the enrollment form, you are going to check a box after you decide who's opening the account that certifies under penalty of perjury that you are who you say you are in the place in the order of priority, and that you are the highest person to open this ABLE account. Another thing is, if you are an authorized individual, you must always administer the ABLE account for the account owner's sole benefit, and federal law prohibits authorized individuals from acquiring any beneficial interest in an ABLE account during the account owner's lifetime. This means that if you are an authorized individual, you cannot use money from the ABLE account to pay yourself for managing the account. Are there any questions about this section? Okay, I don't see any. So if you enroll online or by paper and you need assistance, you can call our customer service center Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I'll give you the phone number in a little while. So to the person who asked if he needs help, customer service is there. They will help you to open your account, to explain what you need to know. Again, they're there Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And again, go to our website, read through what's on the website. It's very self-explanatory. And again, if you need something, call customer service.
Hey, Rosemary.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we did have one question.
Okay.
How do I go about transferring my money from stable account to able account?
It's a rollover form. So you would go to our website and you would go to resources and the form section on the website. And there's a form that says rollover form. You will roll over the money from stable to an ill-able account. You'll fill that out. You'll send what you need to send to stable, and then they will send the money to your ill-able account when you open it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, Danielle?
Not that I'm seeing right this second. Nope.
Okay. So everyone wants to know what happens if the account owner dies. So first is while the account owner is alive, they can name a survivor beneficiary. And by federal law, the successor beneficiary or survivor beneficiary has to be a sibling that has an eligible disability that would qualify them for an ABLE account. So that would be the successor beneficiary on an ABLE account. So if an individual passes away, the family, the authorized individual, would call our customer service department and let us know that the account owner has died. We will then send you out a packet in the mail that has two different types of form. It has a qualified disability expense form for their last outstanding expenses, and it also has an ill-able estate distribution form. So again, when the person dies, you have 90 days to put in for the last qualified disability expenses. So the funeral and burial expenses, the funeral home, whatever you need. That way, the last qualified disability expenses that have been put in, you have 90 days, excuse me, after you notify us that the person has passed away. After that, the account is frozen for 180 days. You will then return the ill-able estate distribution form, and whatever money is remaining in the account will be turned over to the estate administrator who has sent in the documents that are requested on the forms that we sent you. The money will be sent to them. If there is a successor account owner named on the account, the money won't be transferred then to the estate. It will be rolled over to the sibling with the disability who has an ill-able account. Please note, a state Medicaid agency can recover from the estate based on factors such as type of Medicaid benefits received, each individual state Medicaid policy, and the account owner's state of residence. In Illinois, the Illinois State Medicaid Agency, HFS, modified its state recovery rules for Medicaid to read if someone has died on or after July 1st, 2022, they will not make any recoveries against the first $25,000 of the estate value. Now, when they do the recovery, it's not from ill-able. They will go to the estate administrator to recover whatever they need to recover. If there is any benefits that you receive through Medicaid that are recoverable. For more information, please visit HFS at illinois.gov. hfs.illinois.gov is the website. It gives you very explicit instructions about how Medicaid recovery is done, what types of benefits trigger Medicaid recovery. So we highly recommend that you go to their website or you talk to a benefits or tax specialist. So opening an ABLE account. So where do you go? Well, everyone goes to illinoisable.com. That's our website. Again, we highly recommend that you do it online. It's very easy. There's step-by-step instructions. If you get stuck, our customer service number is there. You can call customer service and they will help you enroll online. Or you can go online, go to our form section under the resource tab and choose a paper enrollment form. Download it, fill it out, mail it back to us. Or if you can't download it, you can call our customer service number Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they will mail you a paper form. Again, you cannot go to a bank or an attorney or a financial advisor or anyone else to open an ill-able account. If you do go to these people and they open an ABLE account, it is not an ill-able account, and you will not be eligible for the Illinois state tax benefit. And if you live in another state, we always tell you to check your state's plan first. So this is what the front page of our website looks like, illinoisable.com. Um, in the middle of the page, you see the resource tab at the top. That's where you click to find the enrollment form. And that if you're going to roll over from the stable account, under resources, the form section, that's where you would find the rollover form. If you look down to the right hand side at the bottom, there's a circle with the question mark. You can kind of see it on the screen, I believe. That's where you click to find the phone number on our website. The website has everything that I talked about tonight, plus much, much more. If you're interested in learning more about the investment options, you can go to the investment section at the top, and you can look at each of the investment options to see what the past 18 months of returns have been. So how well the investments have provided for the folks that are enrolled in IL-ABLE. So just one thing that I want to share, I myself am a disabled. I have a congenital disability. I was one of the first folks in Illinois to open an ABLE account. I believe in ABLE accounts. They're a game changer. I would not tell people to open them if I did not believe in them myself. I use them for many, many things. My disability is physical. For example, because of my disability, I have trouble standing from a sitting position. So I bought myself a chair, a lift chair that helps me stand up, amongst many other things. But this is a great program, and I firmly, firmly believe in this program. So there's a QR code here. You can use that to go to our enrollment page. And then our customer service number is here. It's 888-609-8683. And then our number, our email number is, did they put it on the new slide? They did not. The email account to send any questions to is able, ABLE, at the word Illinois, the word treasurer.gov. Again, able at the word Illinois, the word treasurer.gov. Do we have any other questions?
I do see one. Is checking account money FDIC insured?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it is FDIC insured. You're
thank you. And thank you
welcome.
and thank you for all that wonderful information.
You're
So
welcome.
much to learn. Um,
It is. And please feel really seriously reach out to me if you need anything, if anyone ever needs anything.
that'd be wonderful. Yeah, happy to share. Is it okay if we share your like a PDF of your slide deck?
We don't share the slide deck
Okay,
because things change so quickly.
that makes
That's why we
sense.
tell everybody to go to the website, because the website is always kept up to date. And
Sure.
the law changes, especially now with everyone in session in Washington and here down in Springfield, things can change very rapidly.
That makes sense to me. But can share your email out with
Yes,
folks? Okay.
please do.
Okay. Thank you. And if anyone has more questions, we can hang out for a minute and answer them in the Q&A. And this is recorded again, so we can also post it to our website in case you would like to watch it again. So there's another question. So if I
Okay.
started an account, it doesn't touch my Medicaid, SNAP, SSI, SSDI.
Nope, it does not.
While we're waiting for any other questions to come in, I again just want to say thank you and happy to have you back every year to go over this
Well,
because it's so important to people.
as many times as you want me here, I will be here.
I love that.
Again, yeah. So, folks, I mean, seriously, folks, if you think about this, it truly is a really good account. And if you do need help or have questions, Danielle will share my information. Please feel free to reach out to me. I will get back to you. I promise. I know how it is to Try to get a hold of agencies that never pick up the phone or never return phone calls. I've experienced it, and I swore I would never do it to anyone else in our community.
That it does mean a lot to us. And thank you for spending part of your evening here giving this information, and thank you everyone for attending and listening in.
Wonderful.
I will share the recording and your email, and I hope you all have a good night.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.